Unbelievable! That is a dream goal!
They found it! They finally found the goal they were looking for!
What a finish that is! Do not scratch your eyes! This is really happening! Hello everyone, welcome to the Game and Frame live stream. I'm Josh Pratt with Brian Burrell behind the camera, and we're at Queen's College for the Pancyprian Freedoms against Hoboken FC in the American Premier Soccer League. If we have a look at the league table, we are entering the final quarter of the season. There's still all left to play for. This is a really important top four clash for both teams. The Pancyprians looking to keep pressure on the Greeks at the top. They still are in with a long shot of defending their Metro League title, but this is a must-win. Victory would get them within 6 points of the Greeks. And what you have to factor in is that all of the top four still have to play each other a second time, with tonight being the second meeting of all the top four sides. So the Greeks are still going to have to play Lansdowne, the Pancyprians and Hoboken. So the chasing pack of Lansdowne and the Pancyprians and Hoboken will be hoping that the Greek drop points there and they can leapfrog them towards the end. But besides looking upwards, Hoboken now will certainly be peering over their shoulder anxiously. Doxa continuing to keep pace. If Hoboken lose tonight, then it really is going to be tight for that final playoff spot. And what has really separated the Pancyprians and Hoboken from the top two, the Greeks and Lansdowne, has been their records in these big matchups. Both teams have only won one facing top four opposition and have lost two. Pancyprians only top four victory coming against Hoboken about a week and a half ago at Laurel Hall Park. And these sides meeting again under the floodlights and what should be a pulsating match of football. Certainly delivered plenty of excitement in the previous meeting. Don't go now, guys. We will be back shortly with the kickoff.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game and Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential. Hello and welcome back to Queen's College. Out come the Pancyprians and Hoboken. The Pancyprians in the blue, skippered by Jordan Baylon tonight. And Hoboken in the white, captained by Brian Paredes. Hoboken have just the one victory against the Pancyprians, at least in the time we've been covering it. And that did come in the last 5 meetings. About 2 years ago, and a month give or change, they beat the Pancyprians at Laurel Hill Park 3-1. Other than that, has been victories for the Pancyprians. Most of them are quite tight margins. It's a chilly evening, early in April. Biting wind, sitting a little bit above freezing. Hopefully these nights are almost behind us. It's certainly been about as long as a winter as any of us could wish for. It looks like Mike Bello will get things kicked off here for Hoboken as the officials do their final checks. Referee looks at his watch and we are off and underway at Queen's College. It's a potentially pivotal top 4 clash. Pancyprians looking to close the gap on the Greek Americans at the top of the table. Hoboken looking to open up some room ahead of the chasing Doxa, who are sitting on the edge of the playoff zone. When these two sides met about a week and a half ago, Pancyprians steamrolled Hoboken in the first 55 minutes. They went 3-0 up. But Cameron McGregor nearly turned the match around single-handedly with a hat-trick in the space of 5 crazed minutes. Capitalised off an error to score. And then a moment later rattled the post with a wonderful volley. And then was denied from the spot a few minutes after that by Josh Levine. Pancyprians held on down to 10 men to win 3-1. Stainrod, let's return it to Pablo Ablanedo. And our starting lineups tonight: Josh Levine in goal, and in front of him Donales, who is one of many new signings for the Pancyprians made over the winter break. He'll be alongside Thomas Gray, Liam Guskey, who is another new signing and got his account going as a goal scorer against Richmond on Sunday. He's going to be at left back. Eddie Granberg at right back. Jordan Baylon and Pablo Ablanedo, the defensive midfielders. Gonzalo Gil de Pereira in the number 10, and then a front three of Chris Ramirez on the right, Sebastian Ruiz on the left, and Jack Stainrod, the prolific goal scorer, in centre forwards. Here's Luke Smith. We'll get to Hoboken in a second. Cameron McGregor, certainly one to watch. He whips it in with pace. It flashed across the face of the goal precariously for the Pancyprians. Mike Bello was not far away from applying a finishing touch there. Wonderful ball in by McGregor. And our Hoboken starting 11 got Andrew Borte in between the sticks. Shadimo and Brian Paredes in front of him at the centre backs. Stefan Karaman at right back, Adam Garner at left back, and then Christian Liberos and Rojek sitting in front of that back line. Luke Smith in the number 10. And then a front three of Samuel Apatime, Mike Bello and Cameron McGregor. It is an extremely dynamic front line. This Hoboken team has not failed to score once in the league this season. Outscored the Pancyprians by 10, and that's having played a game less. Their real Achilles heel has been defensively. Only 3 clean sheets kept in the league this season. But generally, it's entertaining to watch this Hoboken side, one way or the other. Ablanado. Balon driving it up towards Jack Stainrod. Shodimo stepping well. Here's Thomas Gray. Driven up by Donales. A little bit too much on the pass. Cameron McGregor looking to spin away from Guskate. They managed to check the roving forward. 11 goals to McGregor's name this season in the league. Pancyprians are missing their top scorer tonight, James Tristino. Donales finds Guskate, dinks it up towards Jack Stainrod. There's a bit of a tussle between him and Brian Paredes, and the referee judging that Stainrod was the offender, which he didn't necessarily agree with. Shodimu. It is always a dangerous game to leave Jack Stainrod one-on-one with any defender, because he has such a physical presence among his many attributes to boast of. He can certainly turn a defender with his physicality. Is great. 3 of Joe Holland's 4 backline players tonight are new signings over the winter break, and it was a really revamped squad. 12 signings made over December, January, February, and they certainly needed to be made. With a subpar first half of the season by the Pancyprians, very high standards, and that has left them in a very difficult chase to defend their Metro League title. But they still are just about alive. Jack Stainrod is going to take that off of Paredes and then give it straight to Sebastian Rojek. Cleared out by Karoman. One back by Jordan Balon. Worked back by Gasquet to Donales. Thomas Gray. Looking up for Granbug. That's a little bit loose by Garner. Atapine was trying to help out. He hasn't done so here. Comes Granbug. Drives it towards the far post and no one had gambled. Sebastian Ruiz will send it back into the mix. A crucial header. Comes to the far post. And Hoboken survive. Bermudez penalised. Well, we saw Cameron McGregor put in a wonderful delivery in the first minute for Hoboken. And that was an equally dangerous service at the opposite end by Granbug. Just needed someone to really commit at that far post, and it was a tap in. Epitime looking for the switch from McGregor. Sebastian Ruiz winning it for the Pancyprians. Donales. Ablanedo. Jojo Pereira even, excuse me, with a smart pirouette. Bailon. Ablanedo. Ablanedo up towards Jack Steinrod. Sidimu has got certainly the strength advantage on Steinrod and managed to snuff out the attack. Luke Smith fizzes up towards Mike Bello. Mike Bello has a decent goal tally himself, sitting on 6 goals in this APSL campaign. There's Sebastian Ruiz. He's totally skinned his man. Just ran out of real estate to run into. McGregor covering for Karaman well. We are possibly getting some rain later tonight. Hopefully it holds off before, but until at the end of the game. But we'll see. Granbug shapes it in. Steinrod again watched very closely by Hoboken's back line. Bello unable to hold it up. Granbug. Bailon. Where he finds Donales. Great, fizzing up towards Sebastian Ruiz. Holding off the attentions of Cameron McGregor. Jordan Bailon. Not the same wavelength as Steinrod, but it's back with the Blues. Bermudez trying to sail on between 2 white shirts. He owns the first corner kick of the night for his troubles. It'll be Chris Bermudez who swings in this corner kick. Towards the far post, takes a bounce in the area, and the referee blows the whistle. I think he felt Donales came over the back of one of the Hoboken defenders. There's a coming together there, and it's Gio de Pereira, who's down. Play continues. De Pereira's back on his feet. Here comes teammate, and Garner on the overlap. And he just trod on his own toe, it looked like, as he attempted to connect with that. Stumbled, and decent opportunity missed that. Skate. Great. Drills it diagonal. Stefano Corriman watching it well. Pancyprian's having most of the ball in these opening stages. And it'll be another corner kick for the Pancyprians on that far side. Husky on the overlap, forcing the issue. And Sebastian Ruiz this time to send in the service. Hoboken with everyone back. Ruiz swings it towards the far post. A lot of bodies there. Bermudez pops it back in, and the flag is up against Bermudez. Borte was swarmed by bodies, and he might have got the slightest of touches on that, but didn't look comfortable for the keeper at all. McGregor. Up to Mike Bello. He's going to search for McGregor. Read by Gusky. And Melee on that far side for the ball. And a couple of players go flying, and the Pancyprians get themselves a throw-in. Temperature's just starting to rise, perhaps. Eddie Grandbug. Ablanado. Gio de Pereira held on to it too long, and then he had a little tug at the back of a teammate. Loose in the middle by Liberos. Balon. McGregor winning it back for Hoboken. Luke Smith. It's going to come to the pacey teammate. Adam Garner. Shodimo. Rojek. Karoman. And cleared out by Gusky, and that near post, well, worked build up by Hoboken. Hoboken howling for handball there, referee not giving. And then Jack Stainrod wanting a push at the other end. Paredes. Up a teammate. And, Adam Garner. Liberos. Kind of forced back to Shidimu. Not a lot ahead of the hefty centre back. Paredes. McGregor under a close vigil by Gusky, and then McGregor certainly held nothing back in that tackle. Does offer his apologies. And guys, let me remind you that tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Umbro. And you can head to umbroteam.com to start designing your team kit for free now. Produced by Umbro, designed by you. Here comes Jack Steinrod. He felt like there was contact from behind him. He hasn't managed to buy himself a free kick yet, Steinrod. I think there was a little bit of contact there. But in any case, it's won back by the Pancyprians. Joda Pereira. Christian Bermudez incensed he didn't get that pass. He was in acres on the right side. And then Steinrod is going to be called over by the referee. The Englishman still unhappy not to have gotten one of those free kicks. Now just got a light spitting of rain starting to come down here at Queen's College. Donales. Jordan Balon. Gusky down the channel to Sebastian Ruiz. Drives it in, but Shodimo there to clear. Back with Jordan Balon. Ruiz coming into the area. They'll come onto the edge to Pablo Ablanedo. Got himself half field. Ablanedo closed down by Paredes. Able to block the shot. Here's Bermudez. Joda Pereira. Ablanedo looks in behind. Granberg headed out by Shodi May. And Hoboken can breathe. Decent spell of possession there for the Pancyprians. Deep inside their visitors' half. Forte trying to buy himself a few yards, which the referee is unwilling to permit. It's been a feisty first 20 minutes. Lots in contention. Steinrod is strong there, does well to hold off Liberos. Doesn't have a lot of options ahead of him. And Shidimo with the tackle on Steinrod again, left on the ground, hoping for a free kick. Rojek. Luke Smith was searching for the feet of McGregor. Cleared out by Gusky. Paredes driving forwards the centre-back, and he's already come a long way, and he's let fly. Certainly some fizz behind that strike by Brian Paredes. Purposeful burst forwards by the centre-back. Certainly an ambitious effort, but caught it well enough. If that was either side of Levine, it's going to cause the goalkeeper some trouble, that's for sure. Gusky. Steinrod lets it run to Bermudez. He's forced back by Adam Garner. Jordan Balon. Granberg cuts back and fizzes it in. Headed out by Paredes. But Luke Smith unable to complete the clearance. Ablanedo finds the feet of Gilda Paredes. De Pereira even, excuse me. Jordan Balon all the way back to Levine. Denali's. Sebastian Ruiz. Ablanedo. Ruiz. It was a poor pass. And Epitime will take it out. And the referee seeing some contact from behind by Balon. And Bermudez again pleading his case. Kuraman searching ball up, hopeful. But Balon's header going out for a throw-in for Hoboken midway into the Pancyprian's half. Ablanedo. Oh, they're back to Josh Levine. He puts his foot through it. Bermudez misjudging the flick on header. Cameron McGregor or Luke Smith even bullying Ablanedo off the ball. And he gets it back here, Luke Smith, and the Pancyprians a little short at the back. Luke Smith. Josh Levine wasn't sure where he was going and felt like he had to get a hand to it. Certainly wasn't the cleanest hit by Smith, but might have just been creeping in. And now Joe Holland is debating some of the decisions with the referee. Hoboken preparing themselves for this corner whilst the official and Holland debate, and it's over. And the Pancyprians with some defending to do here. Could be an outswinger by Luke Smith. Travelled a long way, and it's finished by Mike Bello. Hoboken with first blood. Luke Smith's delivery travelling all the way across the 6-yard box. Incredible, it didn't get a touch before it reached Bello. And all he had to do was get clean contact. And Hoboken lead at Queen's College. Just as we approach the 26th minute mark. Mike Bello's 7th goal of the season. How important it might prove to be, but plenty of time for the Pancyprians to respond. But already this fixture taking a very different complexion to the previous meeting. With the Pancyprians going 3 up before Hoboken gave them a run for their money in the final half hour. But this time it's the New Jersey side that strikes first. Donales. Ablanado. And then there's a push on the back of Liberos. Again, heading it back where it came from. The goal scorer Mike Bello, who's hardly touched the ball other than the finish. But he had a good nose for the goal there, being in the right place at the right time. Sergio Pereira hauled down. So as the table stands at the moment, Greek Americans on 42, having played 16, Lansdowne on 35, having played 15, the Pancyprians on 33, having played 16, and Hoboken on 32, having played 15. Still a lot of time for that to change tonight. Jordan Bailon. Sebastian Ruiz. Gusky. Jordan Bailon drills it across to Granberg. Hoboken happy to let Pancyprians have it in their back line. Sitting deeper, the visitors. Sebastian Ruiz. Jojo Pereira spinning onto his left foot. And miss hit as he pulled the trigger. And Luke Smith turns it over for Hoboken. Rojek. Cannot find Mike Bello. Donales. Pancyprians yet to force a save from Borte. Other than that, the corner that went in where he did have to flap it a little bit, but I don't think it was going on target. Pancyprians are going to have a free kick here. In a decent position. Once again, everyone back for Hoboken to defend the set piece. Ruiz drills it in flat. Donali's got the head on it. But was quite some distance out and would have needed to generate a lot of power there. Did about the best he could. Comfortable for Borte. Jordan Bailon. Josh Levine. Donales drives it up towards Bermudez. Garner with the header. Throws well there, the fullback. And Epitime will surge forwards. Liberos. Garner. Luke Smith. Asking a lot there of Koroman on the overlap. Ruiz opting to keep it in. And a little too casual there, given he's right by his corner flag. Jack Stainrod. Pancyprians need to get him more into the game. Sebastian Ruiz. Dispossessed well by Paredes. Teammate looking forwards. Gray met it first. He'll come to Cameron McGregor. Teammate. Tried to outfox Balon. Easier said than done. The Pancyprian skipper doing really well to win that back. So one back by Paredes again. Hoboken containing the Sheffield United Academy prospect Jack Stainrod for now. And that's going to be a free kick, a little push in the back by Denali's on a teammate. Showing move back to Andrew Borte. Roman under pressure, forced to give away, and then that's a bit of a raised foot by Mike Bello. Nothing malicious, but slightly too high for the referee's liking. And then at the other end, we have Roman down. The referee's just going to check in on. And I think that might be under Roman's night. Not sure what happened, but immediately Coach Adam for Hoboken has stripped down a player, and I think he's going to make a change. Actually, it might be Adam Garner. Let's see what's going to happen here. So yeah, that's the end of Roman's night. Garner's gone to right back, and we'll have a look in a sec who's coming. I think it might be Ethan Bazan. Yeah, it sounds like it is Ethan Bazan who's come on at left back. Grambug. Jack Stainrod turns well, finds Ablo Nado, who's got some space, catch it well! It's a sublime equaliser for the Pancyprians. It dipped and it swerved, and it wheeled into the back of the net. Andrew Borte rooted to the spot. And Ablanado fires the Pancyprians level with a bang. His first league goal of the season. If it is his only one of the campaign, certainly one to remember. And that's one of the few times Stainrod has managed to give his Hoboken markers the slip. He turned really well, found Ablanado, who had some space ahead of him, and it was a very positive first touch, and he clearly had only one thing in mind: let it rip, and did so to perfection. Rojek into Liberos. McGregor. So that's a sharp turn there by Patimo. He's still going, he's gone down. Was that in the box? Referee has blown the whistle. Which side of the line is that going to be? I think he's going to give it just outside. Oh, that was tight. I don't think there's any doubt there was contact there. You can see a Pancyprian player lunging in. On first viewing, I think it was just outside the box, but happened very quickly. Linesman has supported the referee in his assessment. So Hoboken are going to have to settle for the free kick, albeit in a very good position anyway. And they've got a couple of options to take this. And the first half that's mostly simmered is beginning to boil into life. Liberos Luke Smith and Rojek all standing over it. Levine has put 6 in his wall. It's going to be Liberos, low, strains the wall, comes back again. And the Pancyprians deal with that relatively comfortably. Disappointing free kick. Paredes floats it up. Commanding header by Thomas Gray. Dilda Pereira. Good tackle by Paredes, but back with Ablanedo. He was closed down by Rojek and looks a little bit soft, that free kick. Bailon into Christopher Bermudez. Floats it towards that far post. Good header by Paredes. Comes back to Bermudez. Ablanedo. Great. Ablanedo. Gusky. To Pereira, tackled by Paredes, who's done really well so far. Jordan Bailon wins it back and tried to dink it out to that left side. Not cleared properly by Ghana. Jordan Pereira. Paredes again there. And Rojek will hoof it clear. Bernales. Gusky doing well. Dupre giving it back to Gusky. Couldn't get his first touch sorted out on the return pass. Bazan. Well played out of the press by Hoboken. Liberos. Shodimu. Bazan. Up a teammate. Not enough weight in the pass. Jordan Pereira wins it back. Skips through the tackles. Sebastian Ruiz. Ghana sticking with him, sent in towards Jack Stainrod, who's by himself. The flag stays down, and that was a glaring miss by Jack Stainrod. That is his bread and butter to finish those sorts of chances, but he got that horribly wrong. It's all by himself. They're just not the right angles at all. golden chance for the Pancyprians to take the lead for the first time tonight. McGregor. Not the right pass by Rojek. Ruiz. Graski looking towards that far post. It's going to come to Ablanedo. And Rojek, perhaps fearing another long-range missile from Ablanedo, dove in a little desperately, and he gets the first booking of the night. As we go into the final few minutes of this first half, it's the Pancyprians' turn to have a free kick in a good shooting position. Sebastian Ruiz and Christopher Bermudez plotting over it. Ruiz will swing it on frame. He hits the crossbar. It comes on the rebound. Back across. Borte got a hand to it. And the whistle's blown. And I think the ball had gone out off of perhaps initial crossbar hit. I think Borte might have got a slight fingertip on that. Pancyprians will have to settle for the corner. Ruiz swings it in with pace. Steinrod meets it and finishes. Turnaround complete for the Pancyprians. It's a combination that nearly delivered a goal a few minutes ago. But this time Steinrod makes no mistakes. A bullet header into that far post. Connecting on the venomous delivery by Ruiz. It's Steinrod's fourth goal in a blue shirt. And it's 2-1 to the Pancyprians right before half time. What 10 minutes it's been for the Pancyprians. Ablanedo with a sensational strike from range. And Steinrod completing the comeback. Great, driving it forwards towards Bermudez. Comes to Jack Steinrod. Works it back to Granberg. Bailon. Guskey. Sebastian Ruiz, who's beginning to pull the strings, but we're seeing his name in the stars there, having a shot from 40 yards. And the referee just playing a minute of stoppage time. Pancyprians, after falling behind to a Mike Bello goal in the 25th minute, have flipped the script. Ablanedo and Steinrod on the mark. Still a lot left to right in this contest. It's back and forth. A topsy-turvy affair. Don't go now, guys. We'll be back shortly with the second half.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish. Flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential. Hello everyone, welcome back. It's a big 45 minutes for both these sides. Hoboken leading after 25 minutes before Pablo Abnedo swung in a worldie, and then Jack Stainrod connects off a Sebastian Ruiz corner kick right before the half-time whistle. Looks as if the Pancyprians are unchanged for now, and it is a bitingly cold evening now. Got a slight mist in the air too, which is not helping with the temperature. Looks as if Hoboken are unchanged as well. We were forced to make the one sub in the first half when Koroman got injured. And Stainrod, who has given the Pancyprians this slender lead, will kick us off for the second half. Certainly an even first half in terms of chances. Pancyprians probably had a little bit more of the possession. But this is a game you feel will have more goals than it, with the array of attacking talent on the field. Their teammate. Worked back to Shodimo. Excuse me, there has actually been one change made for Hoboken. Got a new goalkeeper in between the sticks. Try and figure out who that is. But in the meantime, here's Paredes. Let's have a free kick. There's Sebastian Ruiz. It's going to be a throw in for the Pancyprians. Gusky will take it. So it's Shane Keenan who's replaced Borte in goal. Gusky. Stainrod. Didn't get the pass right. Shodimo. Shodimo, excuse me. Bello. Adam Garner galloping forwards. Gusky puts out for a throw-in. Liberos. Sergio Pereira coming in behind it, getting the ball. That's going to be another Hoboken throw-in right by the Pancyprians corner flag. That's clear by Ruiz. Jack Stainrod. Gave a bit of a hospital ball to Jordan Balon, who loses it. Here's Cameron McGregor. Garner. Levine off his line, and he opted to volley it rather oddly. And Luke Smith went down under contact. McGregor fizzes it back across. Levine got a hand to it. Epitime equalises for Hoboken. Another twist at Queen's College. Pancyprians just couldn't clear their lines. And it was fizzed across at pace. Levine couldn't really deal with it, and Epa teammate with the lowest of diving headers, almost sliding along the turf as he met it. Finds the equaliser. Joe Holland is going to get himself a booking there, I think, on the far side. Perfect start to the second half for Hoboken. Taking a prisoner's tackle by Adam Garner. Gusky tossed it down the line to Sebastian Ruiz. Couldn't get the ball under his spout. Just about kept in by Bello. Bello puts it back out for a throw in. That's Samuel Epitime's first league goal of the season. McGregor with a good header. Helped on by Epitime, and the flag was up against Bello, who went a little early. One back by Hoboken. Mike Bello has got the wrong side of Denali's. He recovers quickly. Bello into Luke Smith. Tackle initially. McGregor on the turn. Quick fire for Hoboken. It's 3-2. Just try and predict which way this game will go next. Hoboken down 2-1. Going into the start of this second half, and they've scored 2 in the space of 2 minutes. McGregor again against the Pancyprians, and Hoboken lead again at Queen's College. Pancyprians have just come out of that half-time break half asleep, and Hoboken have come out with a purpose. Gray finds Granberg. Hoboken chasing hard. Bailon. Gilda Pereira. Does really well to get between 2 tackles. And Jack Stainrod's in behind here. Jack Stainrod! Just wide. Oh, it's another really good chance for Jack Stainrod. You can see how frustrated he was with himself there. He had all the time in the world to pick out his spot. Just a few inches off. Pancyprian skiving through the heart of Hoboken's defence there. Really good bit of footwork by Gilda Pereira. Jack Stainrod on another night could have had a hat-trick already. Took his header really well at the end of the first half, but should have had 2 more. Hoboken have made, I'm not sure if they made a change yet, but Shodimu is off getting some attention. Granberg. Bazan. Jody Moody is going to return to the field of play. Not sure if he just got an accidental arm with Gilda Pereira in the lead up to Stainrod's chance a few minutes ago. Rojek, a teammate. One back by Eblanedo. Gil de Perea. Bermudez swings it in. It's a late tackle on Bermudez, and the referee is going to give the free kick. And the Pancyprians hollering for a yellow. Wasn't a particularly easy in the eye tackle. And the only yellow being dished out at the moment is to someone on the Pancyprians bench. To say more than they should have to the ref. Liam Gusky will take this free kick. Everyone back for Hoboken. Once again, this has been their approach for every set piece when they've been defending. And here comes the free kick after a lengthy delay. Gusky swings it in, headed on, saved by Keenan, who I think might have seen that quite late with all the bodies in front of him, but did really well to get it well away from the danger area with the punch. Donales. Great. Gusky. Sebastian Ruiz, the Pancyprians have upped the tempo after going 3-2 down. Hoboken are preparing another change. It's Tyler Diaz by the looks of it. Jarland has plenty of options to choose from himself on the bench. Good header by Mike Bello. Here's Luke Smith. Critical touch by Donales. Bello was in without it. Gil de Paredes. Canny again by the Spaniard. Switch it crossfield to Bermudez. Bermudez. Headed out comfortably enough by Garner. Ablanedo. Gusky. Gray lets it run to Eddie Granberg. Granberg onto his left foot! Tipped over the crossbar. We almost had another sensational goal from distance by the Pancyprians there. Not sure if Granberg is even left-footed, but he caught that one really well, and Keenan had to get a strong hand to it to tip over the crossbar. Pancyprians knocking hard on the door at the moment for the equaliser. Bermudez again on the corner kick duty. Headed clear by Mike Bello. Bailon. Back to Bermudez. Not a good cross, and Keenan will gather. Well, the first 33 minutes or so at Queen's College showed some promise, but certainly wasn't a popcorn flick. But once that equaliser went in from Ablanedo, the first one, to make it 1-1, it's turned into a blockbuster. hard to believe there won't be more goals if it continues like this. Driven up, and Bazan getting a touch on it. So Dumais and Paredes between them, containing the situation. Shannon not particularly on point with his pass. And here will come another change for Hoboken. It's going to be Luke Smith withdrawn to Tyler Diaz. It looks like a straight positional swap. Diaz is going to go into the number 10 position. Denali's. Bermudez. Didn't find Granberg, and Epitime will bring it out. Gets it back from Diaz. But well stopped by Bailon. Really open game at the moment. Gilda Pereira. Jordan Bailon. Ablanedo. Gusky. Ablanedo. Jordan Bailon. Jordan Bailon's going to have a shot from range 2. And I'm not sure what it is the Pancyprians had in their dinner tonight, but they're all shooting with a lot of conviction from range. That might have been the furthest out effort yet, and it's another good hit. Referee going to try and play advantage. Didn't really work out for Hoboken initially, but then they turned it over again. Gray getting clattered by the ball in the head, and the referee very rightfully stopping play. That really smacked Gray at pace there. And hopefully just one he can shake off, but the referee entirely right to stop that. I think it was Gray who came in there and tried to clear the ball. It cannoned off of Liberos and straight back onto Gray's head. Whilst we have this delay, let me remind you, tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Ambro. You can head to ambroteam.com to start designing your team kit for free now. Produced by Ambro, designed and worn by you. Gray will go off for a second, but looks like Pancyprian will send him straight back on. And Gray does return to the field of play. There is Thomas Gray. Gusky. Ablanedo. Didn't get enough on that pass. One back by Sebastian Ruiz. Pancyprians have had most of the ball since going 3-2 down. Sent across towards Stainrod. Well anticipated by Keenan. Showed him mode 2, heavy on the pass. The pass our mark, and it looks as if Coach Holland is preparing his first change. I think it's Mansabo who stripped down the Swede. We'll see shortly. Denali's up towards Jack Stainrod. Garner with the tackle. Ablanedo. Good reverse ball into Denali's. Jordan Pereira might fall here to Jack Stainrod. It's awkward for Shodimo, who just about wriggled out of a very tight jam. Hoboken unable to keep possession at all at the moment. Great. They are thrown for the Pancyprians. And they are going to make their change. It's going to be Jack Stainrod, who found the Pancyprians' second goal tonight, but I think we'll be disappointed he couldn't have found another two. Very good chances. And it is Man Sabo who's replaced the Englishman. Sabo, former pro, who had a spell in the top division in Sweden. Ablanedo. Bermudez. Couldn't break out of the three white shots around him. Here's Tyler Diaz. Bazan. And that's going to be a free kick. Clever by Epatime. And Hoboken are going to make another change shortly too. They're going to make it now. Mike Bello coming off. And it's Andrew Weiner who scored 2 goals on last weekend, or sorry, last Sunday. Sorry, excuse me. I think about a week ago on the 26th. My math is really terrible. Trying to figure out dates. He's come on. He scored 2 against Zim Snyder. Jordan Pereira. Sabo penalised. May up towards McGregor. Well watched by Thomas Gray. Adam Garner. Cleared out by Gusky. McGregor. A little bit cornered there with Jordan Balon's close attention. And McGregor taking it straight out for a goal kick. Jordan Pereira. Gusky. Mansabo. Squeezed out by Rojek. It is Rojek again, looking down the channel. He's found Andrew Weiner. Flag stays down. Diaz and Rojek with him. Weiner tried to fire it back across the 6-yard box. He'll get the corner kick. Diaz will take this corner. Swings it towards the near post, Bale on there. As Sebastian Ruiz unable to start a counter-attack. Bale wins it back, and then he can't find Mancebo. Diaz. Garner. Comes in edge to Epitime. Ablanedo. Does really well to escape with that. Dilda Pereira. Too much pace from Cameron McGregor. Referee is going to play the advantage. Liberos. Rojek. Hoboken with a decent spell of possession here, which they needed. Haven't had too much of the ball, so it's going 3-2 up. And we're a little bit on the ropes. Then Bazan. Thomas Gray and Weiner tussling. Hoboken claiming it went out. Referee not interested. Donales. Switching it across to Ruiz. It's a good ball. But there's something you won't see too often. Sebastian Ruiz's first touch laying him down. Joe Holland is preparing another change. Even a draw, not satisfactory for the Pancyprians. They really want to have a realistic chance of catching the Greeks. It will leave them 8 points adrift, with 6 games remaining for both sides. And it looks like Joe Holland is going to come on himself as well. He scored on the weekend against Richmond and got an assist too. Weiner losing his bearings. Great. Bermudez on the overlap. Here's Granberg. Still Granberg. Thrown right by the corner flag. Great. Fires it in. It was really awkward for Keenan, who got a touch on it, but not a lot. And here comes Coach Holland's next changes. So it's himself coming on, and also, I'll have to look in a second who's the second one. But Ablanedo and Bermudez withdrawn. Here's Joe Holland with his first touch. Set back to him by Dilda Pereira. Holland looking to reverse it back into Sabo. And then it came to Gusky, who's going to get a corner. Ruiz will deliver. A lot of bodies going up for it. Popped back up. McGregor heads it wide. It will come to Sebastian Ruiz. Bazan timing his tackle really well. Gusky. And Ruiz off with that return pass. It's Alex Pallas who's come on the far right. Excuse me, it was Gil Dupre who got withdrawn, not Ablanedo. So Joe Holland has come on in the number 10 position, and here is Holland trod on the ball there, but somehow able to keep possession. Ablanedo. Great, into Jordan Bailon. And Sabo. Gusky in the area. It's Liam Gusky, hits the deflection. Partially cleared as Ablanedo. Granberg towards the far post and straight into the hands of Shane Keenan. Up a teammate. No chances taken there by Adam Garner. We're inside the final 15 minutes here at Queen's College. Both sides have led at various points, but it's Hoboken at the moment with a priceless 3 points. That will push them 6 points clear of Doxa. Both those sides still with 7 games to play. A teammate couldn't thread his way through the defenders. Here's Ablanedo. He's dispossessed by Liberos, and then he had a very naughty niggle at his heels, and he's going to surely get a yellow card there. Yeah, he does. Can be no complaints with that. More changes for both sides. Eminent Mike Park is stripped down for Hoboken. And it looks like John Varela is going to come on here for Pablo Ablanedo. Tyler Diaz and Rojek over it. Rojek catches it, low and true, but well wide. And it's going to be Christian Liberos who's going to make way for Mike Park, who's a veteran in this Hoboken side. Benali's. Gusky. Sabo tried to help it around the corner. It's actually Ricard Cederberg has come on, not Varela for the Pancyprians. Hoboken are going to make another change. Epitime is replaced. And it's Miguel Sencion who's come on for Hoboken. And here is Sencion with his first foray forwards. Hoboken with such a deep array of attacking talent. All the front three and all the reserves for the front three, full of pace, full of self-belief to take players on, and full of goals. And it's one of them, Cameron McGregor, who may have found the winner this evening. Still time for the Pancyprians to retrieve this one. Joe Holland. Back to Denali's. Not quite enough on that switch. And St. Sean with the header. Gray. Donali's. Sebastian Ruiz. Great. Bit of space here for Eddie Granberg. Sends it in, it's Joe Holland. Helped on, and the referee is going to point to the spot. Holland was clipped in the area. I have to say, I didn't see exactly what happened there, but clearly the referee seeing some sort of contact after the ball had gone. And Joe Holland, who scored a penalty in the opening minutes on Sunday, is now going to have a chance to find an equaliser from the spot for the Pancyprians in the final 10. Big moment in the evening. Monumental moment in the season. Holland against Keenan. Saved by Keenan! And he gathers the seconds. And is swarmed by his grateful teammates. Holland didn't find that ball far enough into the corner. And Keenan with the save. And then the whistle is going to go against Donali's for a handball. That's the key moments that went against Hoboken when these sides met a few weeks ago, including McGregor saved from the spot, but this time it's Hoboken denying a penalty to hold on to a lead. The Pancyprians certainly still have time to find an equaliser, but they won't get a better opportunity than that. Tyler Diaz will take this free kick, not in a wall for the Pancyprians, clearly feeling he's far enough out. And he is going to take the invitation. Josh Levine wasn't convincing. And it's going to be a corner kick for the visitors, who are nearing a second victory in their history against the Pancyprians. Swung in towards the far post. Goes all the way out foot. A goal kick. Great. Donales. Gusky. It's a poor pass. Great, not fully clearing it. It came to Sension. Here's Tyler Diaz. Can he put the nail in the coffin here? He's stopped by Granberg. It'll be a corner kick. Hoboken will love that insurance goal. Swung towards the far post, headed back in. And it's searching, attacked by Hoboken for that shooting angle, and they couldn't find it. I played with Hoboken's keeper Shane Keegan in the Bowery League for a little bit. We never put him in goal, we always had him up front. Seems like a foolish decision in hindsight. Probably why we never made it particularly far. Mind you, he's not half bad with it outfield either. Here's Donales. Gusky sells the dummy to McGregor. Gusky dinks it in towards the far post. Palace met it. He's at the top of his jump and couldn't generate enough power on the header to really trouble Keenan. Donales. Sandwich between two players, and then it's a long range effort. Josh Levine looking over his shoulders. He's lost his balance, and it's just kept up by Josh Levine. He was backpedaling furiously. It looked as if he probably had it, but at the key moment lost his balance, and fortunately for him, the ricochet off his hand ended up landing right at his feet, right to his feet as he's on the ground. Thomas Gray. Sebastian Ruiz. Time is ticking for the Pancyprians. Ruiz back onto his right, showed too much to Adam Garner, but not giving up on it, the Colombian. Drives it across. Cederberg. At the right pass. Dinked up towards Weiner. Rojek. Searching towards Sension. It's a 2-on-2 for now. Sension coming inside. Sension, and surely now Weiner! It's Tyler Diaz, if you excuse me, and it's 4-2 to Hoboken, who have sealed the victory at Queen's College. They get their revenge for defeat at Laurel Hill Park. And it's a massive step to clinching their first ever spot in the APSL Metro playoffs. Tyler Diaz keeping his composure. And surely the comeback is beyond the Pancyprian's grasp now. Going to need to score 2 in very quick order. Rojek drills it forwards. Sension, who did really well to set up Diaz for that goal. It comes to Rojek. Drilled it straight into the chest of Josh Levine, who holds up to Ruiz. Gusky. Gray returns it to him. Bailon. Bazan intercepting. Pancyprians are certainly going to look back at the scoreline with regret. 2 really good chances for Steinrod. That was squandered, and then of course the missed penalty by Joe Holland with 10 minutes remaining. Here is Holland. Sweeps it in. Comes on the edge to Jordan Bailon. But Hoboken's line holds strong again. One back by Granberg. Sabo. Held on to it a little bit too long there. He had Palace on the overlap. Palace will get it again. Held out by Paredes. Sebastian Ruiz. Bailon. Gusky. And Bailon! And that's another chance that goes begging for the Pancyprians, who are heading to a 5th defeat in the league this season. And that is not something that has happened in their entire history in the APSL and the prior named EPSL. This defeat unlikely to affect the Pancyprians' qualification for the playoffs, with how much of a gap they have built over the chasing pack. But you never know, they still have Lansdowne and the Greeks to play. I suppose actually looking at the game in hand as well, if Doxa do win that game in hand, they'll be 4 points away, which isn't insurmountable. Jordan Bailon, and this is going to continue as well. Hoboken's fantastic away form in the APSL. This will be their 7th win on the road. They've only drawn 1 and they haven't lost a single one away. Cederberg loses it to Tyler Diaz. Granberg covering. Gusky. Joe Holland. Be a throw in for the Pancyprians. Here comes Thomas Gray, who catches it well, saved, Sabre on the rebound, flag stays down. It's not likely to be more than a consolation goal. But the thinnest of hopes for the Pancyprians. Man Sabo with his first goal in a blue shirt. We're in the 94th minute of stoppage time. Right leading up to that play, the referee held up a 1 minute, so we've got probably seconds to play after this restart. Pancyprians have got to win this back as quickly as possible. Granberg. Park fizzes it out to Sension. Goes out for a throw, and is there time for one last attack for the Pancyprians? Hoboken crying out for the full-time whistle. It's driven up towards Sabo. Joe Holland dove in, and the referee is going to blow the full-time whistle, I think, there. Joe Holland really happy the whistle was blown. Flew into that tackle. I'm not sure if he's blown full-time or not, referee. Just might have blown twice. Oh no, there it is, full-time. Hoboken see out the victory. It's a memorable victory for them. They get payback for defeat at Laurel Hill Park. And most importantly, they build themselves a buffer in the playoff zone. They take a big step towards making the playoffs for the first time in their history. It's a sensational game of football. Scoreline certainly belies that. There was plenty of chances, goals, controversy. But in the end, it's Hoboken who come away 4-3 winners here. And I'll just give you how the top four is looking now, or indeed the top six. So Greek Americans, top of the table, having played 16. They're on 42 points. Lansdowne have played 15. They're on 35. Pancyprians, having played 16, are on 33. Hoboken are now on 32, having played 15. So they have the game in hand on the Pancyprians. They can leapfrog them if they win that. And then Doxa are on 5th on 26 points, having played 15. So if Doxa win their game in hand, they close to within 4 points of the Pancyprians. And Leros are probably too far away at this point. They are on 21 points, also with the game in hand, the Pancyprians. So even if they win that, they'll be 7 points off with 6 games to play. But guys, a big thank you to the Pancyprians for bringing us down here. A big thank you to Brian Burrell for doing great work behind the camera. Thank you to Umber, our sponsor, and thank you to all of you for watching. This is Josh Pratt signing off from Queen's College. Have a good night, everyone.